A couple days ago, I was going back and looking at some old live streams and searching for old clips of me playing basketball when I was like 14 to make a montage for a different video of me like falling down a bunch and just making a bunch of mistakes in basketball. And as I was doing this, I started to regain a lot of memories and regain a lot of feelings how I felt at that time when basketball was what I wanted to do. And I started to get this feeling and like started to kind of fantasize what it would have felt like, or what it could have been like if I never decided to shift my focus to music and focus on basketball instead. And I started to get all these memories again about how I wanted to play at university and get a scholarship and all these and compete in like games again. And I started to get that feeling of what it used to feel like to play basketball and what I want. And I just kind of sat there for a couple moments reminiscing and like almost getting this sense of dread that I've picked this different path and went on this different path. But being someone who I consider myself to be pretty self-aware, I immediately knew that these feelings were just me reminiscing about the way things once were. That I once wanted to pursue that. That was a goal that I had, but it's not something that is really that important to me right now in my life. And I'm extremely grateful for the decision I made, and I'm extremely grateful that I get to sit in front of this camera and talk and make music and do all these different things, play live shows. And it's only been after I've done a lot of reflection and learning how to let go of a lot of different things in my life that I immediately was kind of able just to come back to the present and just not necessarily get rid of that feeling and just like forget about it, but just be grateful for that time that I had and be grateful for what I felt like in my life. But I know that that's not what I wanted my future to do, and I'm just extremely grateful for that I made that decision to pursue what it was genuinely and still is authentically what I wanted to do, instead of just holding on to that goal of being a basketball player because that's what I wanted to do when I was younger. And I see this with a lot of people in life. They want to hold on to that feeling, and nostalgia is an extremely powerful thing. We want to be around the same people that we were friends in high school with all the time. We want to recapture those moments or the way that we think things once felt. But the thing is, when we do that, we're only chasing a shadow, and we're only chasing something that is an emptiness of what we once felt. It's just trying to recapture it. It's not genuinely something that's authentic. It's not something that's new. It's not who we are right now. We're just trying to recreate the past, and we're trying to chase the way that things once were. And I think this can keep a lot of people stuck in life, not only because of the fear of the future, just because of the comfort of the past. And it can be really hard to let go, especially of people who have left your life, or who have maybe passed away, or just aren't in your current life at this point. And there's a couple different things that I can recommend to you on how to learn how to let go and how to learn to move on with the flow that life is trying to take you down. And it comes down to a couple different things. Now, the first is just kind of adopting the mindset of, at least what I think, is that everything happens for a reason. And what that reason is not one set reason. It's up to you to find the reason for why these things have happened. Maybe if someone stuck around in your life, things could have resulted way different and things could have gone really bad. Maybe if you went down that path of what career you initially thought you would have gone into, maybe you would have gotten to a car accident on a work trip. Like, you never know how things could have been. And if you're watching a video like this, you're still breathing, you're still alive, and in the grand scheme of things, things are probably honestly doing pretty good. You might not feel that great right now, but you can get back up to where you were, and you can eventually pass that, because what results in a lot of change for a lot of people is to feel bad. It's to feel those moments where we feel like we're worth nothing, and when we hit rock bottom, sometimes that's what it takes for us to actually have a wake-up call, so we can change something in order to live a better life, and not necessarily just chase how things once were, but to get better and feel a new kind of experience and go towards something different. Now, the second thing to do to let go of certain things is simply to journal. Now, this isn't like keeping a diary where you just write, "Dear diary, today was January 6, 2024, and I had a good day." Journaling is something that you really can't do wrong, but it really just comes down to letting things kind of get cleared up in your mind and connecting those dots and then getting them out of your mind, because our thoughts can be so complex and often we get stuck in our own head thinking the way things are because we're perceiving our own reality when actually no one else is thinking about them like that, or we're just overthinking far too much. Now with journaling, this kind of allows you to clear things up and take what's kind of in your subconscious mind or in your conscious mind and just get it on a page, and you not necessarily just forget about it, but you learn to move on because it's come out of your mind. You're putting it somewhere physical, whether that be on a piece of paper or like on notes on your phone. I recommend journaling on paper because it's just a little bit slower and allows you to kind of really just get a feel for what you're actually writing down. And whether you journal about people who you're trying to let go of, whether that be like an ex or something like that, or you're journaling about a certain situation that you want to move on from, the more you do it, if you journal about it once, maybe you won't really feel all that good, but then you're going to wake up the next day, and if you really want to, journal about it again, wake up the next day and journal about it again, and by the third day, you're probably going to feel a lot better about it. Now imagine if you do that for 2 weeks. Eventually, you're probably going to get over that situation, even though it's going to take a while. The more you journal and the more you just get those emotions onto something physical, the easier it's going to be to move on and accept the new things that are coming into your life, because there's always new things that are going to come into your life. You just need to be willing to look for them. And the final point that I want to make is that time will heal all things. Time is a beautiful thing in the sense that things are always changing. Things are always going to be different. Now, some people try not to change time and have that feeling of nostalgia and want to just hold on to things super hard. But in terms of things getting better, time will always heal, because you didn't feel the same way that you did when you were 5 years old, right? You have a new set of experiences right now. In a year, you're not going to be feeling and thinking about the same things that you were last year, right? You're going to learn new things. You're going to meet new people. And as long as you're willing to keep moving forward in life and not just hide in your room for years on end, eventually things are going to get better and you're going to start moving on from things. And the more time that you give, and the actual physical time, and the more time that you give yourself, which also comes from spending time alone and spending time from reflecting, but also spending time with other people and doing things that are more authentic to who you want to be, then the easier it's going to be to move on from these things that are holding you back in life and keeping you stuck where you are and preventing you from being open to the new things that life wants to give you. With that being said, if you don't know already, my name is Colby Wallace. I'm an 18-year-old artist from Canada, and if you like this video and want to hear more talks like this and also want to hear some of my original music, you should subscribe. Not sure what you're waiting for. It's a win for you. It's a win for me. If you want to join our free community on how to beat your phone addiction and start using social media in a productive way, there's a free community linked in the description. My original music is also in the description. And with that being said, never stop creating, my friend, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.